Praise God for another day, and today I'm going to be working on clearing most of the trees from my yard. I had half of this tree taken down, but I need to finish the rest today. So I've been very busy at work, but I finally have a day off so I can actually get some of this stuff done. And I'm just going to go through some of what I've learned as far as cutting trees to ensure safety for novices, and of course if you're not a novice, you know what you're doing, then just hopefully you enjoy the story. So some of the very basic parts of tree cutting involve maintaining a good hinge. And the hinge is the part of the wood that you don't cut completely. The initial cut gives the tree a direction for it to fall, and the back cut allows the tree enough movement that it's able to fall over without actually going all the way. So this part of the tree was leaning a little bit more towards the fence than it was towards the yard where I wanted it to go. As you can see, the tree fell away from the fence, but it did not fall away from the fence on its own. I had to use leverage to get it over there. And the hinge allowed me time to pull the tree down rather than it fall down on its own. So there's numerous ways you can get a tree to fall away from objects safely. Using a wedge is one of the main methods. One of the challenges with a wedge as far as this particular area is concerned is I only have about a foot in between the tree and the fence. So being able to put a wedge in here and hammer it in would be a lot more difficult than having a line coming from the tree out to another point. So instead of just allowing the tree to fall wildly, I anchored it to the tree out in front of us and had a line going from one tree to the next, and I was able to put tension on that, and I'm going to demonstrate this with the other half of the tree. So what I'm trying to do is set up the system to basically pull the tree down rather than have it fall, and all of these tie downs and tubular nylon are strong enough that they should be able to hold the weight of the tree. The tree is of course still kind of anchored to the ground, so it's not holding the entire weight of the tree. It's just helping shift the portion of the tree that's hanging over the fence to drop the opposite way. So professional tree climbers use a winch. I don't have a winch yet, but maybe one day. Alright, I'm going to try something different today. I was tying the anchor point before, but now I'm just going to use it as a pivot, and I'll actually have a lot more leverage. It could basically be beneficial to have two pieces, or basically double up on the tubular nylon to give that more strength, but I'm just going to try it this way. I used a half hitch today to knot one end of this, and last time I used a different knot and it just was a pain to untie, so I'm hoping the half hitch is a little easier to untie. If I had climbing rope instead of the tubular nylon, it probably would untie a little bit easier, but this is what I have for free. Maybe I'll make the investment later, but rather than going out and spending a ton of money, I'm just trying to use what I have on hand. So this holds quite a bit of weight. It shouldn't snap. The two tie down straps that I have should be strong enough as well. And I think if this rope was to fail, or tie down, whatever you want to call it, it would be at this knot, because a knot reduces the strength of any rope. Tubular nylon, whatever, by about half. So we have half the strength of the entire thing right here. So it could fail there, but I don't think it will. I mean, we'll find out together. So let's try this out. So I have a couple of carabiners set up in place, and that's giving me some tension on my line. Just a couple of non-locking carabiners to help make things a little easier. And I had tension on the line the first time I cut the tree down, but this is more a mobile tension that hopefully it's a little bit easier to latch and unlatch. I don't want the tree falling over before I'm ready for it to. If everything goes to plan, we should have a smooth felling. At this point, I'm contemplating what to do because I don't want to take any more of the holding wood off, but I'm also not pulling the tree over like I want to. So I think one of the issues was my initial cut wasn't as aggressive enough as it should be, and so not enough of the weight was coming forward when I was pulling the tree down. But I wanted to keep the hinge there because I definitely did not want to lose the tree, so you'll see what I decide to do next. So this is how I ended up taking the tree down. I just pulled that branch, the tree fell over on top of itself, and then I just cut the top branch all the way off and it fell safely away from the fence. So the tree is down and I didn't manage to record it. I turned the camera off for a minute for editing purposes and just forgot to turn it back on. But I think the biggest takeaway from this tree is if it doesn't feel right, if the tree isn't coming down with enough holding wood left over for you to safely fell the tree, then take off a smaller chunk. And that's why I took off one of the upper branches before trying to continue. If you take all of the holding wood out, then the tree can just fall wildly, and that's a very unsafe technique. I don't want to lose any of my fence to a simple mistake, so I just gathered my thoughts, attacked from a different angle, and the tree came down successfully. Next, I'm going to be moving on to a tree climb that I have to do, and if you're interested in watching that, I should post it next week. Thank you so much for watching. God bless, and I hope to see you again soon.